Hey guys, Jaffo here with yet another speed paint. We're doing more Massive Darkness. Today we're doing Moira from the Spearmaiden Cyclops versus the something or other. What's that? Sorry. Oops, probably zoom that out so you can see. No. She's from the Warrior Priests versus the Spearmaiden Cyclops. She is the female counterpart to Ajax, which you may remember from several videos ago. So in this one, we're going to try speed painting. Don't mind the purple guys here in the back. That's just another army I'm working on. So it may look like we got a lot of paints today, but I promise it's still going to go pretty quick. So, using all the contrast paints to speed paint, we're going to do some Drifthound Orange and Untitled Yellow. That's going to get us our fire look to it. We're going to use some Flesh Terror's Red to do the front half of her, I guess, hat, her crown, her whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to use the same color we used for her clothing on the back half to give it that darker color. We're going to use a little bit of Vallejo Game Ink blue, some Apothecary white, both a Shaiish purple and a Magos purple. I think we've got a Gore Grunt of Fur in case we need it. We've also got our Snake Bite leather for all of our pouches, and Wildwood, for her staff. So, to get started, a couple of the things that I have done, if you will take a look right over here, if I can move my camera without causing too many issues, you'll see I've got some paint in a little palettes right here. Those are colors that I've mixed up for this, and we're going to do something a little bit different today. So let's start with the biggest one, and we're going to use that third one that's off camera at the moment. We're going to just paint this on all over her clothing, and it's got a nice bluish purple tint to it. What I did to make that is I did equal parts of Shaiish purple and the Magos purple, and that's what's make this one right here the purpley looking purple. And then I took equal parts of that mixture, and I mixed it with 2 drops of blue game ink to bring it this bluish purple that we've got here. And this is going to be her clothing, as well as, like I said, the back of her little horned headdress here. And because we've done a zenithal highlight on her, it's going to be a little bit darker on the back, and that's fine. That's exactly what we want. So we're just going to go across the back of her head, like so. So now we'll have that on the back. We'll put red on the front. Let's clean our brush off. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do her skin. I made a kind of a grayish purple using Apothecary white and Magos purple. And we just want to give her skin, it gives it that not quite dead-ish look to it that she has in the picture. So I'm going to make sure we don't let it clump up too much. So make sure when you're doing this, especially on the face, that you don't let it clump up too much. Remember, you can always add more paint. It's a lot harder to take it away. So we got that. She's got gloves all the way up, so we're going to come back with that bluish purple tone we've got. In fact, looking at her gloves, we're going to kind of do it the same way. We're going to do a blue-purple on the back, and then we're going to do red on the front. So we'll grab some more of our blue and purple. And on this side, we're going to go grab that. And then down here, we'll grab here. Oops. And now because she's becoming a small and in my way, I'm just going to quick throw her on a painting handle. It's a good way to deal with, a way to hold on to your miniatures and get a better grasp on it. So here's what we've got so far. Doesn't look like a whole heck of a lot, but let's continue adding some color to her. Let's bring out the color of her staff. That should probably help make a little bit of these colors pop. We're going to check what we've got spreading around here. We don't want this to pool too much. And we're going to try and hit in between. I'm going to try and remember to keep you guys in the camera, which, look at that, I'm not. Alright, because I need to do some more here. I want to make sure I save my wildwood. We'll close that up. We'll get in here, going with a second coat. And then we're going to hit that arm again with a second coat of our flesh wash. So we got it like that. Alright, so we're good there. I lied. Let's switch over to our Flesh Terror Red. And now, because I have a real bad habit of spilling, that's why I have my spill, or my pot holders right here. Let's grab this Fire Red, or Flesh Terror's Red here. And it's just going to be really lightly. That's going to bring some real vibrancy to her headdress. We're just going to quick plop it on. And there we go. And the fact that it's somewhat thinned down just because of how thin we let it go, it's kind of nice. It won't be as over dramatic as that Flesh Terror's Red can be. Alright. Now, we were talking about some wildwood purple. Let's hit that one up. And again, we've got it, so let's use it. We've got a holder. And remember, as we did last week, and you know what? We got to go back to that red yet. But as we did on the last one we did for speed painting, if you see spots you missed, just when you get a chance, switch back over to that color and do it up. So we're just going to do all of this in wildwood. Wrappings as well. Now if you want, you can switch over. Skeleton Horde makes a good wrappings color. So we forgot we're going to color her the front of her bands or her gloves red, so we're going to quick do that. And then let's go one more on this side, making sure you guys are in camera. And this just helps give her some color. Now, I tried an effect on a different model, and I think it worked out pretty well, so we're going to see if it works as well here. What else we got in our bin here? Is this snakebite? That is snakebite. Let's go ahead and get all of the middles, actually, because I'm running out of it. Let's quick get the stuff out of the blue purple that I keep missing, like the camera. But we need to get the underside here. So can't Can't forget the inside of her dress there. And that's looking a lot better. Got an exposed hip-ish there. Alright. So now we got that. Let's switch over to some snakebite leather. We're going to do up all of our pouches on with that. So I'm just going to kind of go around here. These adventurers from Massive Darkness, they're always carrying tons of pouches, but if you guys remember our gameplay videos from them, you could always carry a ton of stuff. So it makes sense. Make sure you go over the tops. Make sure if you're filming this that you always stay in camera. Alright. We're just trying to pick out the belt a little bit. So, and again, all we're trying to do is just vary up the color schemes a little bit so that it's not all the exact same stuff every time you look at it, because then your model just doesn't look very good. So I found another spot. I'd like to add a little bit of my remaining blue purple that I have, and that's right here. That is a little bit of a belt, so let's switch over to, or back over to Snakebite. And one thing to note with these contrast colors is you always want to go, it goes against normal painting, but you always want to go lightest to darkest, because normally you cannot, you're not going to be able to see your dark or your light colors on top of the dark ones, just because of how they work. Alright, here she is so far. That skin tone, however, I don't know how much I'm digging that, but let's go back in, let's do another coat of that while we're there. So let's move these out of our way for a little bit. So let's hit this with a second coat. Go down here. Ugh. You know, you take your glasses off somewhere and you forget. So I gotta go get those so I can see the tiny details. Be right back. And we're back. She's looking pretty good here. We do still have a little bit of our blue purple, so we want to bring that up around there. So she's almost done now. If you notice, we're running out of white space from on her, which is a good thing. Like I said, we're trying to do some speed paint videos so we can get all of our old figures caught up before our new figures come in. Which I've just seen my recent updates from Kickstarter, and there's a good possibility, not a high one guaranteed, because until product's in my hand I never trust it. But there is a strong possibility we could be seeing some Massive Darkness 2 painting videos in the not too distant future. We're still talking probably 6 weeks out, but alright, so we're going to switch over and grab some black Templar. I think that's what I'm going to do her little booties in. That'll just give it that kind of dusty gray. Like always, you can't see the boots on our figure, or on our figure's cards, so you have no idea what the artist was intending. And I've been told in the art world that doing feet can be one of the hardest things to do. So, is this our wildwood? Yes, it is. We need just a little bit more of that, because we missed some stuff down here at the bottom of the staff. There we go. So we're going to pop that one out of our holder. We're going to pop in Gorgrunta Fur. Now Gorgunta is that nice reddish brown, and I always like to do that for my scabbards. Anything else that would be, that you would want leathery, but don't want to have the same leather color over and over and over again. So, let's see. So there you can see it. It's a nice different in colors. You've got a deep leather versus a light leather between that and snakebite. Alright, well then that brings us to our final piece, which is the staff topper. So now here, what we're going to do, we're going to paint the, make sure I got a little paint on here. We're just going to kind of paint the insides of this flame. Let's see, make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. So we're going to paint the insides of this flame here on both sides. We'll let that dry just a little bit. We don't want it to dry too much. Then once we're done with the yellow, we switch over to Drifthound Orange. And we're going to do the outside of this. Of course. Come on, dummy, get your modeling in the camera here. And if it's still a little bit wet, that's even better, because then you can get the colors to kind of intermingle, as it were, so that the mixing doesn't look so bad. But there, you've got a nice quick flame atop her staff. And now it's literally, we're just going to kind of go through, like right here. You can still see some whites, so we're going to go and grab this. Let's do the purple up a little bit more. The blurple, as it were. Uh-oh. And that's where you got to be careful if you start taking the heavier color. The heavier colored pigments. So I'm going to make sure we're going to kind of just pull some of the extra out of there. It's looking pretty darn good. Let's see, just trying to compare to our card. So we're pretty good there. We're going to try. And this is only if you feel comfortable doing it. I don't, but I'm going to do it anyway for you guys. We're going to try and put just a dot of yellow into each of her eye sockets. Which gives her that same flamey look that her picture has. Only white I see left that we really should take care of, and let's just do that with Black Templar, is right there, the back of the handles of the swords. So we'll just quick blop, blop, blop. Just something real quick, that way we're just using all contrast. And I don't know, for a speed paint, that's not too bad. Just got some differing colors. We used a lot of mixed colors in this one. So hopefully that you're not too intimidated by mixing your own colors. And there we go. And then all we got left to do, and I'm going to do that off camera once my palette is, or once my model is a little drier, is to paint using Dawnstone for our base. It's the only quote-unquote real paint we're using. So I'll be back when that's all done. And there you have it. We've got our Moira from Massive Darkness, the Warrior Priests versus the Spearmaiden Cyclops. Done pretty quickly. And here is the artist's rendition, so we can see how good or bad we did. I think if I were to do this another time, I would put a little more purple in with my blue, so that it come out a little purpley. Either that, or I'd do another two-tone and I'd do the blue towards the back and then more of a lighter purple towards the front with less blue in it. Otherwise, I think it turned out pretty good. Nice little fire effect just using contrast. So that worked out pretty good. Her helmet is two-toned like it is in the picture. And her skin is kind of... if I can get it to... there we go. And her skin is that ashen gray that the rest of her is. So I think it looks pretty damn close. I'd be happy to play with that on my board game. So there we go. Thanks for stopping by. Come back next week for, I think, I'm not promising anything, but we might do the Spearmaiden Cyclops. So her big issue that I have is that she is a lot of flesh. And I hate doing flesh personally. But look at that big old butt. So come back next week, see us speed paint the Spearmaiden Cyclops. Thanks. Bye.